Ring, 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 ring. Ching, ching. Hello
Beep,
from my
beep,
rotary
beep.
phone. Oh, doggone it. All right. Well, I tried to pick up my rotary phone, but apparently they hung up already.
It's got the busy signal.
I don't think do they have the big pieces back then. You know what's interesting about the year
Well, she's
1971?
on the phone.
Mariah, you know what's interesting about the year 1971?
Do tell.
Did you know that it was illegal to advertise tobacco companies on the television and radio
Finally.
at that time? Yeah. And then Nixon actually announced that they're no longer going to convert dollars to a gold anymore. The gold standard was lifted. Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's all sorts of things that happened then. Rolls-Royce, the British car maker, filed for bankruptcy in 1971. Yep, that's true. Southwest Airlines began 1971. Yeah, for sure. That's true. The Eisenhower dollar was released.
Charles Manson was convicted.
All right.
Satchel Paige became the first African-American animal player in the Hall of Fame.
The first Starbucks.
Hey.
First Starbucks was opened way before Mr. Howard bought them out, of course. That was the original Starbucks owners in the Seattle area. Pat, you should have known that.
Hoot, hoot.
Also, a quarter pounder was only 53 cents in 1971. Did you know that? And the 43rd Academy Awards, the war film Patton won 7 Oscars. Isn't that crazy? You know what else happened in 1971? That's when this movie we're about to talk about was set in that time. That did not come out as smooth as I hoped. Folks, we're watching a doozy of a movie today, and it is a cozy, heartfelt,
Christmas?
award-winning,
Get out your doozy koozies.
maybe patent pending, Christmas, maybe not Christmas movie, The Holdovers, starting and starring the amazing Paul Giamatti, Divine Joy Randolph, and newcomer Dominic Sessa, directed by the amazing Alex Payne. Guys, we've got an amazing show for you. Listen up, buckle up, grab your Jim Beam and your champagne of beer, because we're about to talk about this year's Oscar nomination, probably, The Holdovers.
It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
Nothing for it. Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
I love you.
I know.
Go! Get to the chopper!
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
I see dead people.
Milk was a bad choice.
Hello and welcome to a new episode of your favorite wannabe film snob podcast, the How to Be a Movie Snob podcast, with your hosts, Miss Mariah.
Hello.
Nice to have
All right.
you here.
Hi.
Hey. And Patrick.
You have more. But yeah, that's the end of my first name.
That's
Hi.
hi.
Hi, guys.
It's nice.
Hey.
It's
to
nice
see
to
ya.
have the people where they belong again.
I hear anticipation is what keeps people, wanting more. You just make them think there's going to be more, but really it's just emptiness.
And who are you?
Oh, hi guys.
you third
Seth
person?
here, third person. Your host with not the mostest, but the most. I'd say I get the best award for participation among the three of us.
Most
Words.
Most-
chords.
Most chords.
Oh, yeah. Most
Oh.
gear, most words.
That's true. And I guess I do call out the movies that are doozies. That's my other role here on the podcast. Because,
You got the doozometer.
we may...
Would this be a doozy?
In the best sense of the word, I would say. We've got a doozy today. But before we jump into the dooziness, the doozy, the doozinator, making cappies. No, we are going to quickly talk about something that happened this last week. And it was the other award show. That's right. Not the American Not the American Spirit Awards, folks. We're talking about the Golden Globes, the all new, all fresh, totally not controversial Golden Globes of 2024. So we're just talking a little bit about that because this movie we're going to watch, I guess we've already watched, talk about, has not one, but 2 Golden Globe winners. And we'll talk about whether or not that is warranted or not. So let's quickly talk about the Golden Globes. You guys watch the Golden Globes? Pat, I know you did, because guess what? I was right there beside you on the couch.
That's right.
That's right, folks. Don't worry.
But I'll admit, I was a little in and out of it mentally. The Golden Globes has trained me to be a little less.
He was scanning
participatory
a little bit.
I save up my energy for the Oscars.
Angry Birds, or what were you playing on that thing? Was it?
I'll be honest.
What was I doing?
I dabbled. I was also juggling.
All right. So
being
since
out of town,
I'm the only one who's actually watched the Golden Globes, guys, I'm going to give you some of the highlights. I even wrote it down here. Okay, guys. The big winner from the Golden Globes was Oppenheimer with 5 awards, including Best Picture. Coming in second was 4 films with 2, which included Barbie, but we're going to give a big asterisk for that one because of that lame new award. Poor Things, Holdovers, an Anatomy of a Fall. So, we're talking about one of the 4 movies that's not Oppenheimer today, folks. Some of the highs and lows. Do you guys see, what was your favorite parts that you may or may not have seen from the Oscars? You guys remember any parts that you enjoyed? Did you enjoy anything from the Golden Globes? Sorry, I was ever hopeful.
I mean, Will Ferrell, Kristen Wiig.
Oh my gosh, that was so cute.
They're always.
It was like
adorable.
It was a breath of fresh air when they came on. You just knew they're gonna give their all. You felt like you will entertain us. You will commit to whatever you're doing.
Yeah, and they did.
And they did. Unlike some other Kevin Costners that didn't actually care about what was going on. Mm-hmm. So that one was my high point of this awards. Will Ferrell always brings it, and he always commits. Elizabeth Banks was close, but that was a little bit awkward. I actually liked Simu Liu, or Leo Simu. I don't know if you do which Chinese way you want to do it, because his family name's Leo. Anyways, we won't get into that. I thought he killed it with his presentation as well. That actually felt like he tried a little bit. And then my other favorite presenter, of course, was Jean Baptiste. And is it Audrey? I don't even know her. But they felt like chill and relaxed, and they actually I enjoyed when they were up there. Those were the only times I'm like, oh, cool. Everyone else felt like they were there, and that was about it. It was pretty much.
They never read the words they were reading in the moment.
Oh,
it was pretty awkward.
It was pretty awkward.
I feel like it was kind of forgettable. Like nothing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, and it changed hands. This is a new owner. They're trying to get away from the Hollywood Foreign Press.
I'm definitely curious to see. It's nice to set it up so that you can compare with what gets the SAG award and what gets the Oscar.
Yes.
It's nice to know, this is the beginning. We're kicking it off.
Yeah, no, and it was.
We'll see if it stays consistent. I like upsets later on in the season, so I'm hoping.
Well, and this one gives you hints but it's not going to be exact because they split comedy, musical, and drama.
Exactly right.
So we get more winners.
Which,
so you're like, well, if it came down to the
I'll
two,
be so interested. Usually win. Yeah. But this one's an interesting one this year because of other things. So I'm going to quickly go through it, and we'll talk about it. Cillian Murphy won for Best Actor from Oppenheimer. Best Actor for a Musical Comedy was Mr. Paul Giamatti from The Holdovers. The new category, the Cinema Box Office Special, won a lot. Was Barbie, which I think is the most ridiculous award, but it gets a lot more superstars to the Golden Globes. So, good on you, Golden Globes.
And I don't hate this award.
You don't?
To me, it's like the normie. It's like the normie awards. Like this movie was a crowd pleaser.
Yeah. I like it because I think Barbie was
Get
great.
People to the movies.
And it deserves an award, but it won't be snobby award.
I always remember the Will Ferrell sketch on the Oscars with John C. Reilly and who's the third guy? Oh, was it Jack Black? And Jack Black.
Jack Black. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And they're like, "We'll never win awards." And they're like, all we have is our millions and millions of dollars to keep us company. But what does that do compared to this little statue? All we have are these $20 million deals for our movies. That was such a good bit.
It is sad.
So I thought that was pretty good. And so that's kind of how I feel about Barbie, by the way. They got enough money. They don't need a statue.
Well, yeah. I think, to me, it's unfortunate because Barbie, to me, should be in the conversation of the higher quality.
Oh, I agree.
Movies. And certainly Greta Gerwig should be.
Yes.
I feel like.
Yeah, that yes, totally agree. No, I actually love Barbie.
But
just for the people out there, I don't hate Barbie. I thought the movie was awesome.
I think this, I guess Top Gun Maverick would have been in the running for that. Right?
Oh, easy.
That was this last year.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, that movie winning an award like that, you go like, that makes sense.
Maybe Tom Cruise made a big stink last year because it wasn't going to win for, and you better make a new category.
That's true. That's so funny. I do have a thought. I mean, we've talked about this with the Best Picture nomination. It used to be those nominations. Like it used to be Wings. It used to be movies that were the blockbuster of that year. Titanic,
Saving Private Ryan.
Saving Private Ryan lost.
I know,
but still, that was the first
it was
time.
real close.
It should have won.
Yeah, I think
Shakespeare in Love sucked.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I mean, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine. I don't know. It just. I don't mind, and obviously it makes sense, just to your point, get big celebrities in there, get people who maybe don't care so much being like, but I like that movie.
Yeah,
so I might watch this thing.
It looked like the crowd was really fun, though.
That's true.
I mean, it was a good party.
It always is.
Which is that?
Okay.
There's booze at this one.
Here's my question then. I think it should be retitled like cultural influencer. Like there's certain movies every year that influence everything. And obviously, Barbie was this year's movie.
It's the prom king and queen.
Right. Exactly right. And last year's was Maverick.
Yeah.
Maverick was the surprising old school movie that just changed. Everyone saw it. Everyone loved it. And that was the surprise movie. And like a couple years ago, oh, shoot. There's always like a movie, like Titanic when it came out, that was ridiculous, like culturally changing. Iron Man, when that came out the first time, changed everything. And these movies that are like not, and they're still great movies. Mission Impossible 1, have you watched that recently? It's gorgeously shot.
I rewatched it.
Well
done. Oh my
Jurassic
goodness.
Park.
It feels almost like an art film compared to the new ones. Yeah, Jurassic Park is another good example. Yeah. Anyway, so I think there should be a category. I would just like it changed to like cultural.
I think you're just sad that the first winner is Barbie.
No, I like Barbie. I think Barbie should have got closer to winning it at all. Well, I loved Oppenheimer though. I was not sad about Oppenheimer winning. Sorry, folks.
Well, I think it makes it weird because Barbie, just like the jokes about Barbie that were in the lovely monologue.
Yes, I have not talked about Mr. Joe Coy. That was rough.
It's just so one note, and it's like that's not what that movie is.
No,
you feel like it's that plastic doll, and you don't know it. You're not getting it. And so I think to me, it's unfortunate that one of those other more blockbustery, less critical, I guess less film snobby didn't win it in a way.
Sure.
Because Barbie felt like it should be closer on the podium to winning real awards.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is like a consolation prize in a weird way. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. Like I think Barbie deserves a bunch of accolades, and it got the combination of Barbie and Oppenheimer got a ton of people going to the movies.
Yep.
And when's the last time, like I knew several people who dressed up to go to Barbie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was an event.
Yeah.
There are so many pictures
not
in front of
since
it.
How
Lord of
often
the
does that
Rings
happen?
and Harry Potter. Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter are the other ones that people dressed up for.
Yeah, like what a
Twilight.
cool thing, and getting people certainly coming out of the time we've come out of, like getting people excited to go to a movie together.
Mm-hmm.
Like deserves some credit. So I don't mind the award.
Yeah, I just want it to be renamed. That's it. Cultural influencer.
Yeah,
that's what I want.
I could be down for that.
Okay, moving on.
My other thought was,
oh yeah, go on.
We just need to bring back song and dance people to host these things.
Hey,
give me
Seth
throw Hugh
MacFarlane,
Jackman
baby.
up there.
Get another Doogie Howser.
Yes,
he killed
100%. Throw them up there. Like, just borrow anyone who's hosting the Tonys.
Yeah. Oh, for
and
real.
put them in the Oscars, and it will be a good time.
Yeah.
Or the Golden Globes. Any of those.
Yeah.
We don't need to throw comedians up there.
Well, unless they can pull it off. Like,
fun.
I watched John Mulaney.
Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
And John,
they're a good combo.
John Mulaney never fails. John Mulaney hosted the Governor's Ball Award this year.
And Trevor Noah could do it. You know.
Trevor Noah could do it easy.
People that know how to read a room.
They all said no. Let's us forget. No one wanted to do this gig.
What's Billy Crystal doing?
Living off his money?
Being too old.
Yeah.
Steve Martin said something a little sympathetic about Joe Coy. Like, this is a tough gig.
Yeah.
And he got through it, and now he's got 20 new minutes of material, for his act.
Yeah, it's true. And the part I was annoyed about, and Pat and I talked about the one that happened, I've heard most of the jokes before. I could name you the year that the jokes came out, and then he ripped on his own writer, which I thought was a little. I'm like, come on, man. I know you're dying up here, but let's take it anyways. But yeah, I don't know.
Just own it.
Would you do that if you could be more famous? Because I didn't listen to him before, so now I'll probably look him up a little bit. Is it better to bomb at the Oscars?
Well, no, because I didn't watch
the
full thing, so I missed a lot of what he said and did, and all I've heard about it was negative. So it makes me not want to watch him. Mostly.
Yeah. Well, okay. We'll see what happens with
all
his career.
Publicity is good publicity, right?
Hey, that's
why we're here.
That's why we're here. Moving on, best director was Christopher Nolan for a drama. Best musical comedy was Poor Things, which is impressive. Also, best actress in a comedy was Emma Stone for Poor Things, which will be a very interesting one for Best Actress at the Oscars. I'm so interested who's going to win that. Best Foreign Language Film was Anatomy of a Fall. Best Screenplay was for Anatomy of a Fall, Justin Triet and Arthur. Oh, I can't read my own handwriting. Harari, forgive me, Arthur. Best Actress in a Drama was Lily Gladstone from Killers of Flower Moon, and she's probably the favorite to win the Oscar.
I loved her speech, too.
But my goodness, Emma Stone committed to Poor Things, and if we get to talk about that, it'll be amazing because it was crazy, but I'm so interested who's going to win that one. Best Supporting Actress, Miss Divine Joy Randolph, formerly of Comedic Movies for The Holdover, and Supporting Actor, Mr. RDJ himself, Robert Downey Jr.
I liked his speech.
He came in hot.
Classic.
Just owned the room. The second he got on that microphone, RDJ just knows what he's doing. Original song was from Barbie, sung by Billie Eilish and written by her brother Phineas and her. What I Was Made For is the name of the song. Original score, Ludwig Göransson from Oppenheimer. And the best animated movie, The Boy and the Heron, which I wasn't sure if that was going to win, or Spider-Man. So I don't know why I just read you all that, but all of those were... Some of them were surprising.
It's not on the internet anywhere.
So yeah, it is. But I could never find the list right away. I was always super annoyed, so I actually had to write it down myself because you can't just copy and paste. Maybe I'll do that in the comments, guys. I'm going to do all the winners in the comments. So I was pretty okay with every single person who won.
But we also haven't seen them all yet.
I have seen all but two.
You saw the winners.
Yes. But I'm not seen
Anatomy
on the TV side too.
No, and Anatomy of a Fall is the one I would really like to see as well, just to see how. I mean, it's going to be great. I just know it is, but I'm just so interested because it's like, what's the feel of what the Oscar voters are going to go for? Because it really is again.
Well,
it's
and
still
I'm curious.
Popular thing, like whoever thinks is the most.
I'm curious to see how when the Oscars come out and it's all over and done with, how we feel at that point. Like, do we really feel like the right people won? Because we haven't seen everything yet.
No.
So let's see how our opinions change. It'll be fun to compare and contrast from Golden Globes to Oscar
for sure.
reactions.
Oh, I can't. I'm excited, guys. I'm excited. Okay.
We watched a movie this week, though, guys.
We did. Oh, yeah. We did watch a movie.
Do you remember?
Yeah. It's related.
No, I don't.
To a couple things.
I forgot what movie we watched.
The Holdovers.
Oh, The Holdovers. All right, folks, we watched The Holdovers, and it was amazing. I mean, my opinions don't matter, but we watched starring Mr. Paul Giamatti, directed by, was it written by or just directed by?
Directed.
Just directed by.
He commissioned the writing.
That's right.
Alexander Payne was the director.
The one, the only, and we'll talk about some of his movies as well, I'm sure. Starring Joy Randolph Devine, right? Or Divine Randolph?
Divine.
Oh my gosh!
Joy
I just
Randolph.
read it here. I'm so embarrassed.
He just got done trying to figure out a Korean name, so he's switching the
Chinese.
order
Yeah.
around.
Oh no,
Dominic, Sessa, and Paul Giamatti.
Chinese.
yeah. So, anywho, this movie was so fun. But before we go into it, we're giving our hot takes, guys, because it's cold brews and hot takes. Let's get started. I'm stealing Mariah's paper because I have a hot take from her paper.
Oh.
Pat, you ready? Or you
Go
want
first?
Go for it, baby.
What do you think?
I got a couple. So
My hot take is the effective use of cliches and tropes can still make a good movie.
nice. That was good.
That's why they exist in the first place.
100%.
At some point, it worked.
Good. The best actor in this movie was the least recognized. Boom. Yeah, it's hot take, guys. The best actor was the least recognized in this movie.
And did not get an award.
Didn't get nominated. That's my first hot take.
No.
Well,
It was good.
This is good.
Hot take.
Hot take. And scene.
Hot take, not my
It
favorite
was
Alexander Payne, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Well,
there we
yeah.
go. Now it's
That's not bad.
spicy.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not
not bad.
super hot. It's lukewarm.
No, not that hot.
I thought. I mean,
It's a
he's-
mild take.
He's got some good ones. He does
has
have some good ones.
Doozies.
I would
people.
say it is my favorite of all the ones I've seen by him,
Oh.
for sure.
Really?
I mean, there's a couple. I mean, yeah.
Bold.
Oh no.
That's a hot take.
I mean, downsizing was close. Just kidding. Sorry, that's too soon. Too soon.
It's one of the ones I haven't seen.
Yeah,
Oh well,
we don't know.
yeah, that's fine.
We
You
don't know
you don't
right
need
now.
to. Yeah. Okay, guys, let's get into it. So the plot: the summer Mariah is coming at you strong. Give us the plot for the Holdovers.
Okay. This movie takes place in 1970 at a fictional school in New England, a boarding school for young gentlemen, and they're about to hit Christmas break. One of the staff comes up with a really good excuse to not be the guy that stays back with the kids with nowhere to go, otherwise known as the Holdovers. Gets to pass the buck over to another staff member who never has anywhere to go, and he gets them. Another quick twist in the beginning is one of the kids, thinking he's going to go somewhere special for the holidays, gets a call saying his mother decides instead of taking him for Christmas, they're going to go on their long-awaited honeymoon, and so he's now a holdover.
Everyone starts to change little by little. Enter the plot, the joys,
It gets deeper.
the cliche, but
Everyone
yet
grows.
not so cliche.
We also have a kitchen manager who stays behind, who
yeah,
happens to have lost her son to Vietnam, who is also a graduate of the school. Shortly after the break starts and the teacher starts bombarding them with actual school activities and structured schedules, one of the kids' fathers comes in his chopper and whisks
Get to the
four of
chopper.
the five of them away to a ski vacation. And the one left behind is poor, what is his name? I'm looking
Angus.
at Angus.
Mr. Tully.
Mr. Tully gets stuck with Mr. Hunnam and Miss Lamb, Mary, the head cook. So the three of them continue the vacation. Things happen. They get close. There's some drama, some feelings, some traveling to Boston, etc.
And so on.
So on and so forth. And
Yeah.
and much
And growth.
cliche and much coziness ensues. The number of
I just
people who call this movie cozy, by the way, in reviews is it's almost obscene. How many people call this movie cozy?
I mean, it is cozy.
And a Christmas movie.
Is it cozy?
Much to the chagrin of the director.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Is there something to Mary Lamb? Mary had a little lamb.
It's so funny. I didn't even think about that. That is hilarious.
I can't figure out the connection.
No,
Why don't
that's
you...
funny.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why is it Mary Lamb? That's the best. Okay. Let's start out with, I just want to start with the feel.
Seth,
because
how was this movie shot?
this movie was actually shot quite normally.
Was this shot using 1970s film?
Oh, my hot take. Here's my hot
validated
take. I know. I have
so
to eat
true.
my words.
Yes.
Everything I said last week, I have to eat my words. And this is why. My hot take was, this is a better vintage film than Oppenheimer, than Maestro, and it was shot on digital Arri Alexas.
Good old normal stuff.
And the post work they did was amazing. The best feeling era accurate. And because let's be real, Maestro did a really good job of staying era accurate in the videos and the film as well. But man, this felt like it came out of a 1971 briefcase.
Well,
and was put into the VHS.
Beginning with the extra long credits, opening credits, just like they used to do on purpose.
Accurate
vintage
logos.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And Pat will know.
Yeah, which was the whole intent, right? Like the whole intent, he didn't want it to feel like a period film. He wanted it to feel like a film you just didn't know was shot in the 70s.
And
then
Pat will know this because I was yelling at the TV when the credits were going. I'm like, look, the words are shaking a little bit like they used to do. Like they added like the shake, like it's over the top of it and it's not quite right yet.
Yeah.
And so the details were mwah.
Well, and did you see, because they experimented with film, like 16 millimeter, 35 millimeter, and they realized, well, if they did that, they would have to then degrain it from the modern film grain and then regrain it to 70s era.
Stupid.
So like, let's just go digital. When I read that, I was like, take that, Maestro. Take that, everyone who thought I was a fool when I was talking last episode.
Although,
can't you just get away with digital?
You ready for this, though?
Yeah.
If it was our friend from Oppenheimer, Mr.
Christopher Nolan.
Mr. Christopher Nolan, he'd probably build a factory to create 1970s film stock so he could shoot it in the original 1970s film stock. So, that's a thing, too.
And not only that, maybe we're jumping into the film techniques. They also, the camera moves, they all tried to keep in line with what would have been happening in the 70s. Yes, a lot of tripods.
Crash zoom.
Well, and even...
No like drone shots, nothing.
Yeah.
No steady cams.
New fangled.
Yep.
And then the audio, too. They mixed like mono.
So it didn't sound that clear. It didn't actually sound that clear.
With like... And
Pat's taking
in, like,
all
audio
my stuff, by the way. All my stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Literally.
Well, I'm also going to add a fun...
Get there quick.
I'm also going to add a fun, not professional take fact from this movie is that Alexander Payne screened movies from the era for these kids who have had no idea, to give them the feel of what you're supposed to be, to just get the idea of how this film, like how he wants it to look. Like The Graduate's one of them.
Right.
Harold and Maude, All the President's Men.
Dope.
To give him a vibe. And actually had to explain when Cessna Angus goes and tries to make a phone call. They had to explain to him how to use a rotary telephone because he didn't know how it worked. The kid's 19 years old or something.
I did that with Pat's kids. I gave Quinn a phone. I think it's in here somewhere. And I was like, okay, call someone. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, how do you call somebody on that? And he's like, first thing is like all the kids do, they press the buttons.
The only time these kids have ever seen this is when they go get their eyes checked and they still have a rotary phone as one of the pictures, and they're like, typewriter? Like, I don't know what that is.
I was thinking about this the other day, which is a
sort
stupid
of
thing.
Primitive computer.
everything you see and what has to do with phones, like with like the phone on your phone, that's not real anymore.
No.
Nothing. The phone doesn't ring. You don't hang up the phone. You don't press.
Yeah,
you don't,
vernacular is all very dated.
And you don't dial a number. Shoot, we barely dialed numbers when we were kids, and we're old.
Yeah. But our grandmother did have
a
rotary phone.
Yeah, we did too. We had one of those.
And it's really fun, actually, to dial.
Yeah, it takes forever.
Well, plus you get used to that satisfying sound and like the length. Like when you dial a 9, you're like, oh, it's gonna come all the way back. That should be one of those things you listen to. Is a rotary phone.
Use it with like a pencil because it kind of hurt your fingers.
Yes,
that's true.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I digress. Sorry.
They did a lot of work.
What are we talking about right now?
They did a
blah blah blah.
Of work
Film
to make this period accurate. And the other thing, I guess, if we're in the making of, also no sound stages in this movie. All shot on location.
Oh, dude.
And the school
stressed me out. I was watching some of the behind the scenes. I was stressed out because I have shot with live crap going on in the background, and they just have their little like boom mic holding it there,
and no soundstage and no
crap.
fake snow.
No, and there's
there's
traffic going on. There was like a horn in the background for a take. I'm like, you can't like cut that take because the horn's got to go all the way through, and you can't reproduce it. I was just so stressed watching the behind the scenes of this thing. I was like, what? And they're shooting in direct sunlight. There's just so much stuff that I was just so stressed about when I was watching it. I'm
cringing.
Like, how does it look so freaking good and sound so legit? It's just, I'm just, again, like more, I enjoyed it better than I enjoyed Maestro, and the feel that is, and better than I enjoyed
and then, of course, in the
Oppenheimer.
editing, the long fades.
Oh, cracked me up.
Which Alexander Payne
loves
using his other stuff too, but it's way more period accurate.
Yeah,
in this,
when I shoot live stuff, like when it cut between like we do like videos of bands or whatever, my boss gets mad at me every time I do a fade. He's like, "You hard cut. This isn't 1992." I'm like, "I love the fade. Just let me fade."
Just a little fade.
I felt what was interesting about that in this movie was it let you linger on moments without feeling like the pacing was dragging or that there was tension. So if we go back to like Tokyo Story or something, where you're holding a frame for longer than you expect, it's unsettling in a way. There's a weird anticipation. But when you fade, you're like, okay, we're moving on. But you still get an understanding. And then, of course, you can cross-fade with similar themes or something, and that's fun. It's a cool technique, and it is kind of weird that it feels so dated because I think people just do it so poorly now, or there's not it's not a choice that people are making.
Yeah,
that
it's
makes
not
sense.
an intention-based kind of.
Yeah, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of that made all this feel nostalgia and comfortable in a way that wasn't flashy, but felt like, it's just really easy to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It was very easy to watch.
I need to put the reference of this, but I was watching a video and someone showed all the 70s films that like from like Dazed and Confused, Boogie Nights, all these movies that like takes place in the 70s, but doesn't feel like a movie made in the 70s. And this just blows those out of the water. And even if you
Boogie Nights, you definitely as good at the movie as you feel like these people are in costume.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah. And even like the costumes are great in a lot of these movies, and like Dazed and Confused was awesome. It felt like it was really there, but the film was still new film feel that it didn't feel like you were there. Even the date, it says produced in 1971 in Roman numerals, and that was kind of a little thing. I thought that was cute.
Yeah,
that's pretty funny. So yeah, the feel. Okay, so we all agree the feel of this movie is amazing,
spot on,
so good, but yet doesn't distract. Didn't feel like we were just trying to be something that it wasn't. Like it wasn't the star. It got out of the way immediately. Like you saw those first things, and you're like, okay, oh, we're doing this. Okay, we're committing. But then you forget immediately and you're into the story. So it was a great affect, but it didn't take away, I thought. Because sometimes people do that.
Yeah, I kind of like the heads up about this is how we're going to do this.
Yeah.
Get ready.
Get ready, folks.
And then, you forget about it.
Yeah, which is perfect because that's
Felt
what it
very
should do.
natural.
That's what exactly it should do. Unlike other movies like Sin City or some of the other ones, they kind of, or Pat's new favorite movie, Part 1.
Rebel Moon.
Rebel Moon. Zack Snyder movies, you definitely know he's trying to. Sometimes it distracts from the. Although you could have used some distracting from Rebel Moon, but that's a different story. So, yeah. All right, let's talk about this movie. Did you guys like it?
I did. I did like
It's
it.
funny how long we've been talking. Now we're finally talking about do we like the movie?
Right.
Yes.
I mean,
I also liked it.
Liked the movie. I was surprised that maybe I had built it up a little too much for myself. It wasn't as good as I assumed it was going to be.
Really?
But that didn't mean I didn't enjoy it.
Okay.
I think knowing that this is the same collaboration in Sideways.
So you love Sideways.
I love Sideways. This is not as good. It's not as good for me.
Because you know why? There's happiness in it.
Not a lot. There's more comedy in it.
It's lighter than Sideways.
More obvious. But I like the darkness usually. So the fact that, I don't know. Still liked it a lot.
There wasn't enough darkness.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. I'm saying you like the darkness.
A little too schmaltzy.
Yeah, that's true. Because I also think About Schmidt is pretty great also. And
that's
got some good darkness. And Election. Loved that one.
Election is kind of his outlier, though. That one is just, that feels so out there. Like, that movie.
Tonally, yeah, it's more heightened than
it's just nuts. That movie.
It's really good.
It's terrible and great all at the same time.
I mean, I'd say I'd put it above The Descendants as far as his filmography. And
Okay.
I think Sideways I like better, but the others I feel like it's right there.
All right. This is my favorite.
know.
This is my favorite he's done. Like, it's not. Yeah, but I guess I'm more sentimental than you. Who knew?
I also expect to cry, and I did not. Maybe I was a little disappointed in my lack of emotion.
Yeah, it never went.
It never went
went there.
I thought the Mary Lamb moment in the kitchen was the closest it got. Like the Mary Lamb where he shuts the door. That was the closest. I was like, oh, this is like the closest he comes, where he becomes like a father figure to the group.
Well, and also in the end when he's saying goodbye, but his walleye is, the focus. So then it's kind of like, it's hard to
it's a little goofy
get
at the end. Yeah.
emotional.
It's the right one.
Yeah.
By the way, he would not reveal how they did that. They asked him in an interview, Paul Giamatti, like, so the eye, he's like, yeah, I can't.
Well, and I believe they switch it in the movie.
Yes, they do. But they don't, they don't tell you how they did it. Like they don't even.
I assume it's a contact lens.
Yeah, I would assume.
I assume so too, but like he was very closed about
switch it. So we also didn't know what was the eye.
We're all trying to figure it out.
That's pretty funny.
No, I really liked it. I think it's such a small movie. I think that's what makes it hard to put it up against an Oppenheimer or even a Barbie in a lot of ways.
Oh, for sure.
These big kind of epic things, in their own rights. It's such a small story. And a predictable story, but done so well to me that it overcame anything you'd be like, boy, this is ripping off a bunch of stuff. It's like, no, it's just a story that we understand, told and acted so genuinely,
for sure, that
it still works. And you're like, dang it, how did you pull this trick off? Because also I found, coming into it, basically everyone's put into like stereotypes, right? Grouchy teacher, punky kid, no nonsense cook. And you're like, oh, that's what this movie is. And then, of course, as they do, revealing all these
layers,
nuances. And it wasn't like just when Paul Giamatti defended Mary, or Paul defended Mary, kind of that first meal, and you're like, oh, like this guy's got like a code. You know, he's a good dude, even though he's kind of a jerk. But so you're fighting, and it's like simultaneously, I'm so put off by him speaking in Latin all the time and correcting the drunk Santa about his costume. But you become charmed by that stuff too, and you're like, that's quite a trick. Like, you are such an annoying, hard to love person, but you've charmed your way. Even though Paul's not like, he's not truly becoming a different person. You're just seeing shades of it, and you get context. And it all adds up to being like, that's a really likable guy. Is that how my annoying teachers were? You know, like,
yeah. Well, and
do
also
they have this backstory that I maybe would have liked if I got stuck with them on a holiday?
It added like a whole nother twist, side layer when he runs into the old classmate from Harvard.
Oh, that was
it's
great.
like, oh, like you have been trying to prove something also by being that kind of guy.
That was great. I thought that was a nice, and it brought them both more on the same level.
Yeah.
It gave Angus and Paul like more, like, we're equals here, both trying to make it.
Do you guys think at the end when he gets pulled into the office and Angus is sitting there for a second, do you think he just outed him and told the whole story to the dean? Anybody? For a second.
Oh, funny.
I didn't know. I
was like,
I
this would be such a messed up
arm.
twist if that kid told everybody what he was not supposed to be telling anybody.
Yeah, because Mariah's still searching for a little more
darkness. Come on, dark, get really bad here.
In election, it
shows
would,
that
for
you
sure.
Him.
Although,
that's so true.
Okay, that's great.
I think I thought it was about his arm. I didn't think it was about the dad. Like that was
sure.
I think that was the other interesting thing. Like, there were little twists to all of it. Just little twists that you go,
for sure.
Oh, well, that's cool. Like, so this thing that, you know, the end result is still kind of predictable.
Right.
How they got there was interesting. And yeah, it was like, oh, you just did all this so well.
Yeah.
That anything I could kind of rag on you for. And it's like, well, but you did it so well. So
exactly right.
Good job.
As cliche as some pieces were, it was just delivered in such a way that it was good.
My favorite example of this is
they nailed it.
Is the character of Mary. They didn't just make her the wise black woman who's like in the service realm.
And
they made her flawed, and they gave her depth in a way that few movies do in that cliche situation. So that was one of the parts I'm like, oh, thank goodness. It's not going to be...
Well, even just how she was grieving was kind of
messy,
muted in some ways, but then came out like at the party with how much she drank. It didn't feel flashy, but it felt genuine. Or authentic.
And I felt like her character arc was so realistic in somebody that could be grieving like that. You know, I feel like there's definitely like a very long denial period, and sure, you have to get blackout drunk and have a good cry, and then you're ready to make choices. Like, I'm going to visit my sister. I'm going to bring her the
sounds
box. And
familiar, Mariah.
It's great. I liked it. I think she had a lot of emotional intelligence and acted like a normal person. It wasn't like a show, like a movie grief that they were showing. It felt like a real grief process to me.
When she pulled the little shoes out, that actually maybe that was close to tearing up for me. I was like, oh, brutal. But also really lovely, right?
And I think maybe because traditionally Divine Joy Randolph is a comedic actor, she didn't have to like push any of the comedy. It was always like subtle but hilarious.
Oh yeah. And she just made expressions.
Oh, it wasn't because it wasn't overly like da 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 or whatever it was. Right. And even Paul Giamatti. This is like Paul Giamatti at like a 3 or a 4, when usually his roles, he's like a 7 or 8. Like, he's usually like
in Private Parts.
Yeah, like in Private Parts,
like
his first big movie.
Yeah,
like
pig vomit.
Yeah,
Isn't that his name?
All of the movies, he's kind of over.
Yeah.
Pat, do you have something to say? I feel like you're just like barking at me for this. I feel like you're. Is that Shay? Is that Shay barking?
His name is Wrigley.
Oh,
everyone.
my bad. I forgot. I thought you were a Mets fan.
I felt like Divine too. Because I had seen her. I don't know if you guys watch Only Murders in the Building.
There we go. Yes, I was listening to you.
I loved her in that,
good.
and she's also subdued. There, like she's delivering the comedy very well without having to have some sort of outburst or loud, overacting kind of thing. Her face. She acts so well with just her face. I mean, the expression is great.
I know her from Dolomite, the movie with Eddie Murphy.
I have not seen
Oh
that.
my gosh. Dolomite is one of those sleeper.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
It's so good. It is. Dolomite is like one of those movies that nobody's seen, and I don't know why, because it's hilarious. It's the story of the actual actor who plays Dolomite. Anyways, if you haven't seen it, Dolomite's worth the watch, folks. It's hilarious. And she's in that, and she's just so good, too.
Well, and she also comes from Broadway, too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a little thing that Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph have in common. They both went to Yale.
They did.
They
yeah.
Drama
I did.
school.
Yale.
Different decades.
Yes. And also, the nice thing about this is Paul Giamatti's dad was he the president of Yale?
Yeah,
I think so.
He was a professor and then the president.
So, this is Paul's home. Like, this feels so much to him. Like, he understands everything about this. And not to mention Dominic. By the way, his first movie ever, they picked him up because he was the lead in the school play.
And this is his high school.
What?
In real life, his high school.
This is the most ridiculous Hollywood story I've ever heard. Like, this doesn't sound real. Like, there'll be a movie about it. When Dominic's like a big star and he's like the next Brad Pitt.
I had to look too because I thought he looks kind of familiar,
but he's not.
But no,
yeah,
he looks so familiar.
Shouldn't be. Yeah,
So, guys, in
You've
case
never seen him before,
you couldn't tell from my hot take, I thought Dominic killed it at Angus Tully. It was just so like
I think he did a great job.
I'm confidently not confident. I'm dork, but I'm cool. He rode that line so well. It felt like a season. There were moments where I thought it was Timothée Chalamet. Like I thought, like that's who I was thinking. I'm like, he's like a rough Timothée Chalamet.
I was thinking more like Finn Wolfhard.
Yeah, so
from Stranger Things. He kind of gave me that vibe too.
Nice. So I really couldn't figure out what was going on, but I'm like, man, he's killing it. And probably because Paul and Divine like set it up so well, he probably had room to just do whatever. But man, for a first coming out of the gate.
Right. Well, and in an interview too, he said he worked so well with the director and was able to be like, can we do this? And can we, like there was a lot of good communication. And other than the fact that they required actual snow for it to be filming.
Yeah.
Things seemed pretty flexible.
Oh, so good. Yeah. Anyways, I thought I was just so impressed. I couldn't believe that it was his first movie. I just couldn't believe it.
Good job,
Dominic. I hope
we need to come up with an award.
Well, they used to get
and we can give it to
They used to win Oscars. Hello, Anna Paquin in The Piano. They used to win Oscars. Kids used to win Oscars their debut performance and then never win ever again.
Yeah, that also happens.
So maybe it's better for him not to win out the gates.
Like Tatum O'Neal.
Yeah, it's kind of a curse.
Paper Moon.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe. I'm in your corner, Dominic. I hope you're a cool guy. I hope you're not a jerk. Okay. Let's move on to let's talk about Paul Giamatti. In his wonderful filmography, how do you feel this one ranks? Because his filmography is just ridiculous. Starting with Private Parts is the first major movie he was in. Not the first, but the first major movie he was in.
First one I knew him in.
Yes, me too. I didn't realize, but you don't even realize that's his first movie because he's just so, prolific.
You feel like he's been around forever.
Forever.
Well, and he's also one of those people that looks like he could be a certain age, but he's not. He looks the same as he did then, really.
For sure.
Not a lot of aging has happened. Hair color change, maybe, but.
So the movies that he's like, and I'm going to give a show in this because he just was so good in John Adams. John Adams is like his big thing. Sideways, of course, is probably his number to number one, probably number one movie that he's known for. He's in the show Billions.
That was
He's
great.
in Cinderella Man, Straight Outta Compton. He was excellent in. I don't know if you guys saw Straight Outta Compton.
No.
It's because you guys don't like, rap music. Come on, guys. Come on.
Was he a rapper?
He was the agent. He
wasn't a rapper.
He was the agent that was
He didn't play
rather
Big E or...
Eazy-E, Dr. Dre, and Ice Cube were the ones he was representing at the time. But it was a rough movie. Big Mama's House, I believe, is your favorite movie. Is that right?
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes, he was stoked to do. Spider-Man. The other one he got a ton of cred for was American
he was
Splendor.
Cool in Jungle Cruise. Now I'm thinking about his small part in it. It was good.
Truman Show, Private Parts.
Yeah, American Splendor was a real, that's guy he played in that. It's such a particular...
Downton Abbey.
Yeah, Man on the Moon. 12 Years a Slave. He's just so many parts. So, is this his best movie is this his best work?
Not for me,
nay.
but it's very good.
Oh, yeah, because you're sideways. You've already made this. Pat.
I committed.
Is this your favorite Paul Giamatti?
I mean...
I did not prep you for this.
It could be, because I think I'd have to rewatch Sideways. It's been a long time since I saw Sideways.
Yeah.
We watch it.
But I think
still a lot.
What he does in this is so good. Like to your point, Seth, he never gets that big.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of choices he's making. As the animator in me, he does a lot of good little business stuff going on. He's got a lot of pipe work that's fun. Some of his posture stuff. There's definitely some moments that stood out where when he goes to sit and watch TV with Mary, like the Newlywed Game, he kind of sits really in the corner of the couch, sort of awkwardly tight. It's that thing you do when you sit down and you didn't sit down well, so you're uncomfortable. You don't really want to move because then it highlights that you sat in the wrong spot.
Or when he's stretching right before he lays down, that he about falls over.
Yeah. And when he's stretching outside and he picks up a football and throws it, there's a lot of business.
that was good. Or the injury in the gym. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whole scene might have been it's one of my faves of the movie. It's so good. The delayed scream and then his reaction. It's just
literally made the trailer.
So great.
Literally made the trailer.
So good.
Yeah. Even when he bites the cookie, he pulls it and he's like, there's all kinds of Christmas things, and he bites and he's like, I was getting. There's good choices throughout, but none of he never goes to 11. But it's all really compelling.
How
There's a quiet
Jack
rage
Lemmon
in his life.
he? How Jack Lemmon is he? I was waiting to ask this question.
He doesn't go full lemon.
Okay,
he doesn't go full lemon, but it's in the spectrum. He's up on the spectrum. I think of physically embodying.
Folks, there's a reason why I ask how Jack Lemmon is Paul Giamatti, because Jack Lemmon is the perfect actor who feels like a cartoon. Is that correct, Pat?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jack Lemmon for cartoonists.
Premium animation reference actor.
Yeah.
And I would say Paul Giamatti, man, if he's not there, but he's got to be one of the best, close to Jack Lemmon.
Well, and with that walleye in this movie, he looks a little bit like Rango.
I never saw Rango. That's on the list. Yeah. John Adams or this is my favorite for his work, because John Adams, he was just so he embodied him so well, and it just tortured. No one listens to him. Angry. It was a perfect. I mean, I didn't know John Adams personally. Yeah. I know you think I'm that old, but
Billions. He plays he's great in Billions too.
I mean,
loved it.
Anyways,
he's currently, and I haven't watched it yet. He's on a show called 30 Coins, which is like a supernatural Spanish language show, and he's like a villain in it. I'm like, what's that? I was like, I got to get into that.
Yep.
I didn't know that's what that was.
I think he's so good, and it's a character that's kind of despicable. I guess maybe not despicable. Really unappealing.
The fact that he smells like fish all the time too. You almost get smell-o-vision from it. You have a walleye and you smell like fish. Yeah. And you aren't super attractive anyway.
That was good.
I think he does come across as intelligent, which does add to like, well, yeah, I do kind of like him, and he's just so snarky. When the kid was like, "I can't fail this class," and he's like, "Don't sell yourself short." I think you very likely can fail this class.
Yeah.
This is a great quotable movie. There's so many
He's
things.
so clever.
Curl your toes. It would curl your toes.
Yeah. When you're 18.
The chicken ladder line.
Oh my god!
I've never heard that before.
That was
That's
so
pretty
good.
good.
Line.
That's a great freaking line.
Life is a hen house ladder.
Oh yeah, hen house ladder. Short and shitty. Yeah. Explicit content. Sorry, everybody.
PG-13 on this one, guys.
Well, and then the whole thing too, like, I feel like there's that moment when they're at the restaurant at the end and she joins them and they're ordering dessert and he wants to get the cherries jubilee.
Oh, that was good.
And the reaction.
Very Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Oh gosh.
Moment.
The reaction that they give, like they're finally like the three of them, such a trio at that moment.
That's great.
You know, like, oh man. And when he's waiting while they're having the meeting with his parents and she comes and holds his hand, like,
Oh.
Yeah, it's very sweet.
it's so sweet. As cliche as someone could call all of that, they did such a good job. They're a great.
Well, even though the slight twist of it, the comedy of like the Cherries Jubilee thing, like we got him,
Yeah.
but realize they lit the box on fire.
Yeah. Let's do this to a cardboard box in the parking lot.
It's just like, oh, that's so perfect.
Yeah.
That this plan they have actually wouldn't really
And
work
she's
out.
finally just like, do you have cherries?
Oh, it's so good. All right, guys. What do we think about this when it comes to Oscar nominations? Was it
Well,
awarded
we know what you think.
correctly?
It's already
Well,
been snubbed.
well, yes, but I didn't say. Do I think that Paul Giamatti and Divine Joy Randolph, do they not deserve it? Like, that's the other question too. Did other people deserve it instead of them? So, I guess my question is: do you think this movie is Best Picture of the Year? One, and do you think that they are the best actor and support actress?
Well, for the Oscars, we have to combine, correct?
Correct. What you've seen, what you know.
So, do you think he beats out Robert Downey Jr.?
Killian.
No, Killian.
Well, he
Robert
got
Downey
beat
Jr.
out Killian.
Yes.
So yeah, he's got to be Killian, Oppenheimer, because Ryan Reynolds would probably not Ryan Reynolds. Gosling. He'll probably be Best Supporting Actor.
You think so?
No, I mean he's in the run for it. He's a dark horse for Best
yeah.
Supporting Actor. No, I think for Best Supporting Actor, I still want what's his name from May December to win.
Melton.
Yeah,
He's very good.
But I don't know if he's going to do it because it's again when you talk about small movies, I think about May December as well. It feels like such a smaller movie. Oppenheimer was just so big. Barbie was so big, and even sorry guys, spoiler alert. So is Poor Things. So big.
We haven't.
It's so big.
Hold on.
It's just
Hold the phone, Seth.
They're tour de forces. Let's just put it that way. And so when you get to May December and you get to this. I love this. I like this better than May December.
There are moments like this when I look forward to getting back to normal and not watching movies that are currently in the theater so that people don't just go and watch it without me. So there's not as many slights.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Poor Things yet, but
This
I can't
Oscar
wait to.
season is going to get heated,
It's
people.
going to get heated. Here's the thing I can't stand about the Oscars.
The dresses.
You have to let us watch the movies before you, like, why release them so late? I don't understand. Like, I feel like the real runtime should be during 2023. Because all these movies that were released in 2023.
I feel like they should announce the nominations earlier so you have more time. Because I felt like pretty rushed last year after the nominations.
Oh, to actually watch them all, get ready for it.
To get it in time.
Yeah, and then you just re-release them for that month between nominations and whatever, and then
they are one by one becoming available to stream.
Yeah, so I think Divine has a good chance of coming down with the Oscar if the grouping is more or less what it was in Golden Globes. But I think
Those of you at home, that would include Danielle Brooks, Colored Purple, easy for me to say. Julianne Moore, May December. Emily Blunt, Oppenheimer. Rosamund Pike, Saltburn, and Jodie Foster from Nide. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Seth.
You're welcome.
But I think Paul Giamatti will have trouble beating Cillian Murphy because I think Cillian really does carry Oppenheimer. It is Oppenheimer start to finish, whereas this movie, we do share the workload with Angus and Mary's characters.
For sure.
And Paul Giamatti is wonderful, and I think this is a really tough role to get right and not feel like a cartoon character.
In the best way.
Yeah.
Much love to Jack Lemmon.
Yes. But I think, it'll be tough for him to get the big prize.
You know, it'd be awesome if Dominic Sessa
gets a sneaky
nomination for supporting actor. That'd be dope.
What if his first filmed role, he could pull that off? That'd be incredible.
Right?
Straight out of high school.
Yeah.
And Paul Giamatti
journey.
Straight out of Compton. So there we go. Okay, Mariah, what do you think? So you didn't answer this. Best picture, not best picture. Yay, nay.
It won't make best picture.
It won't.
It's too small.
Too small. Okay. Would you want it to? Would you cheer for it?
We're not.
Would you
we're
cheer
not
for
days,
it? Is it
over?
your choice?
Is it
for
your
best
choice?
Picture so far.
Pat?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it is wonderful, but it's like you almost need the spectacle best picture versus the like indie best picture. And I think in that way,
that's cool.
This movie did so much. But we're past the days where I think Annie Hall beats Star Wars.
What if they did it like weight class, but they did it by budget class? How fun would that be? Movies that are awarded by budget. If you spend over $100 million, you go against other $100 million. If you spend under $30 million, how dope would that be?
I mean, that would be really interesting to see those categories for sure.
And then you'd have to
but then
accounting.
I also think it's fun to have the low budget beat the tar out of the big budget ones occasionally too.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever.
Give them the chance to.
Shakespeare in Love. That's what you voted for, isn't it? Ugh.
I did not.
Yeah.
Okay, Mariah.
No, I think all of these are worthy noms.
I meant Pat. Keep
but
going.
I think Divine.
That's what I meant to say.
The only one who takes it. Sorry.
Keep going,
Go
Pat.
on, Mariah.
That's what I meant to say.
Go on, Mariah. Thank you, Seth.
This is
You
good.
mixed up your words.
Solid gold.
Okay, Mariah. Best actor, best actress, supporting actress, but yay, nay.
I haven't seen Oppenheimer yet, but I imagine Cillian Murphy, being the handsome Irish devil that he is going to be able to pull this off for me.
Oh, that's so good.
As much as I really liked Paul Giamatti's, he did a great job. I also think it would be super cool if
Dominic
gets a little bit of a
nod.
nomination there.
Probably not.
And I think so far, Divine, she was great. I think.
Do you think she'll win?
So far, I think she'll win.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know the other movies enough to know if anyone else really had the presence. I
also think, Rhea Perlman should get a nod for Barbie, but.
Oh, that's great. Well, kind of a small part, but that'd be dope.
One of the reasons I cried in that one.
Oh, that's pretty
so
sweet.
happy to see her.
That's pretty sweet.
But yeah, definitely not.
Okay.
Wouldn't win Best Picture.
Okay.
I don't think, but it's pretty great.
Yep. Okay, guys. Worst part of the show. You're
Oh dear.
on the spot.
It really feels on
Review.
the spot this time.
I know. So no words this time. Okay, Pat. You want me to start it out, gentlemen, ladies, peoples,
Dude first.
or do you want to start it out, Pat?
Just FYI, you guys sound a little bit like a robot to me right now.
We
which is
sound
kind
like
of
a
fun.
robot. Well, you sound good, and I'm recording, so we good.
Beep. Whoop.
But,
Beep,
I'll
boop,
just
beep.
power.
Like
yeah,
R2D2 or
freaking me out. It's freaking me out. I'll power through.
Patrick, we want your soul.
oh. I hope that comes
My
through in the
review.
recording.
Me too.
Is while the Holdovers generally goes where you expect, especially in a movie that takes place over Christmas or the holidays, the character arcs are no less enjoyable when handled by the auteur, Alexander Payne, and the trio of wonderful actors in Paul, Dominic, and Divine.
Boom.
Oof.
Okay, got one. You ready?
Go for it.
Get ready, folks. We got a new holiday classic. Alexander Payne and Paul Giamatti team up again for your new favorite Christmas movie. Move over.
Die Hard.
Die Hard. That's what I was going to say. Move over, Die Hard. Dominic, Sessa, Divine Joy Randolph, and Paul Giamatti are going to put your Christmas lists in array because it is a 1971 gem that not only feels and looks like the real thing, but is the real thing. Do yourself a treat. Buy a ticket to the Holdovers tomorrow. Seth.
Sincerely.
Seth
Love
out.
Seth. Move over, Die Hard. That's I gotta give you credit for that one.
A superbly delivered classic story of a trio down on their luck, banding together over the holidays. This is a heartwarming, seemingly 1970.
There we go. We're back.
But not. Jeez. I can't do it.
Just tell me a good or bad. You haven't said good or bad yet.
It's a winner.
That's why there's
That's a winner. There you go.
It's a doozy. Doozy of a holiday
You
classic.
had all like the describing words, but like you didn't say whether it's good or not.
It's a doozy of a brand new 1970 holiday classic.
Ah, that's perfect. The brand new 1971 classic.
Before we sign off, I'm curious how this didn't feel. Maybe it's because we're after Christmas watching it. It didn't feel as Christmassy to me as it could have. Like it definitely has some of the similar die-hardiness of like, yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
Yes.
But
he went and got a tree.
It wasn't like about Christmas, right? It just happened to take place over Christmas.
No, and I think that's one of the best
But
parts
that's
about
how
it.
all the Christmas movies get pigeonholed as Christmas movies. It just happened to
but
fall.
It's so weird.
Like Love Actually and
Ugh.
Stop, Get Out.
But to me, this feels very watchable year-round. And yeah, maybe you could be like, this is a Christmas movie.
But
so
maybe you want to feel
rotation.
cozy in the winter and watch it because it is taking place in the winter, which is so funny
Yes,
that the director is
it's
so
appropriate.
adamant that he doesn't want it considered a Christmas movie, yet he was determined to get real snow happening as it happens.
I'm a little disappointed in the three of us. None of us used the word cozy in our review. I'm a little disappointed. That's my only thing.
Well, we said it in the last 2 hours,
That's true,
I
guys.
think.
That's true. Well, guys,
Yes,
get ready for this cozy dark horse of an maybe Oscar winner.
It's a cozy doozy.
Cozy Holdovers.
Easy cozy.
It is a good one, guys. Go watch Holdovers. You will not be sad. It was just very sweet. Very sweet. Well done movie. All
We
the way
should.
around.
That could be one of our. This could be one of our swags. Is a doozy koozie. Pat, I want you to start work on the
Doozy
doozy
koozie.
koozie.
Coming your way.
Okay.
You design it, Pat. I'll
Please.
order it. So
There
you
you
make
go.
that happen. All right.
Perfect.
Guys, this is a great movie. I'm happy we got to go do this. It's a very, honestly, just a nice feeling movie, which is honestly rare for Oscar
It
nominations.
does
So
leave you with
watchable.
warm, fuzzy, cozy
Yeah, which
feelings.
is none of the others don't all do that. No, most of the other ones don't do that.
No.
So I got to give this one
I
credit.
guess this is the easiest watch so far of this season.
It's nice
other than
and-
Barbie.
and
I say
it's-
Barbie and this one are right up there.
But this is nice and snobby.
Yeah.
I feel like it checks both boxes.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that. Okay, guys, thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, keep listening to where all your favorite podcasts are held. No longer on Google Podcasts, by Google Podcasts. Now it's YouTube
Well, you can
podcast.
listen to it on YouTube Music.
Like, I guess next to the video, which you're watching now, maybe, hopefully. So there you go.
There you go.
Well, thanks for listening. This is Seth.
Pat.
And
Mariah.
signing off, guys. Have a great week. Keep watching movies and try to be the movie snob. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.